Good afternoon. It's Nick's forecast, talking about all things real estate and finance and all kinds of other cool stuff going on in the real estate universe. 2022 is coming up, so I kind of want to talk about your market plan, which is much a big part of your planning. And I don't care if you're an investor, buyer, seller, real estate agent, mortgage broker. It's all important is the planning. And I'm going to go over some 8 activators today. You can get this stuff at ilovemarketing.com. You can download this plan. It basically talks. Also, I just want to go into more planning, marketing, what to do for your things that you want to think about for next year. A lot of times, as an agent or mortgage broker, you guys are looking at things that you might have done year, 2 years, 3 years if you're a cherry. In other words, you've done a cherry agent to me is basically anyone under 4 years or less, and you're still trying to learn the ropes. And look at the things that work for marketing and things that didn't, cut the things that didn't work out. Biggest thing about marketing is consistency. If you're an investor, you might have other businesses you're running or whatever your work, but you're going to have a plan as far as what you're going to do. And that's kind of one of those things. Well, I got to check one thing real quick. Just bear with me for a minute. Let's see here. Okay, sorry about that, but I was checking some stuff here as far as my internet getting out. Anyways, I'm testing some stuff, so a lot of this is still new as I'm putting a lot of these things together. So back to what I was saying. So you're going to, especially if you're a real estate agent or your mortgage, and to be successful and to make money, you got to have consistency, and you got to have some kind of plan as far as something you're going to put together and do. And that's usually a big issue. And so you have to look at what kind of prospecting you're going to do, because essentially what you're doing is marketing, is prospecting. Are you doing phone prospecting? Are you calling for sale by owners? I know there's some lawsuits in California right now against for sale by owners and expires, but you live in other states, you shouldn't stop. You shouldn't stop in California either. Also, too, are you calling businesses? That's another way to prospect, calling businesses looking for commercial deals, refinance deals, whatever. There's a lot of avenues for, or I should rephrase that. Let's say you're a certified financial planner, CFP, and you're looking for more deals. These are things that you need to look at as far as putting more deals together, calling businesses like different facets of, they maybe want to buy apartment buildings, could be another house. You're going to start off with a commercial base type of deal, house, property, looking to lease something else. Are you looking to refinance one of your buildings? There's a lot of avenues. You might be calling tax attorneys. You might be calling accountants. There's a whole variety of things you could call and prospect for. You might spend 2 hours a day doing it. A lot of it just depends. Mortgage broker, same thing. You call FSBOs, expireds, need help. Maybe you have some special website to help them out where they can list for free. Tax accountants, tax lawyers, probate lawyers, whatever. These are all avenues as part of your marketing plan, your prospecting. Problem is not a lot of people do it, but more are doing it in certain parts of the U.S. And a lot of it, your game has to be on better than everybody else. How you talk to people on the phone, your game's got to be way better than everybody else. I always had a really good game on the phone. That's why I was able to sell so much before they changed the law, but still didn't stop me anyways, because I still pursued a lot of different avenues. And so I might spend 2 to 3 hours, usually 3 hours at a pop, all 1 hour of this, 1 hour of that, when I divide it up. Sometimes I do 3 hours on one thing, so I do 2 hours on one on another. So that's part of your prospecting plan. Also, too, learning how to be a telemarketer. You know, I don't care if you're an investor, buyer, seller, whatever, especially investor, buyer, or the real estate agent or mortgage broker, or if you're a CFP, financial planner. You know, these are things that you got to look at as far as that. It's cold here. Sorry, folks. Anyways, so these are things that you have to look at to make yourself more to springboard out. And so, you know, I always said I refer other stuff and saying different companies' names because there's no secrets. And in essence, I respect all these people because I've met most of them, except for Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone's got a good phone program. He teaches it really, really, and for the real estate industry and a bunch of other industries. But his stuff is pretty juiced for the most part. I mean, he's got a really good program. The Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Bell, the Straight Line program. I'm all for that. That's a good program too. It rocks. I bought that a long time back, went through it. Straight Line's a killer program. Grant Cardone's program is good because he's been in a lot of industries, and so he knows how to work it. Plan too. Tom Ferry's got a cool plan. I know he has a cool for all this COVID nonsense and stuff, but basically he had a telemarketing program for 2 days, 3 days, and I don't know, people are just from California. People are going into Orange County to do it, but it's a pretty cool program. All right. Anyways, he had a pretty cool program. And so that's a good program there. Mike got a really good program, telemarketing stuff. There's some other ones out there that I'm not going to mention because they're not as big. In different, what I call regional areas that have some pretty good phone programs. Sweat Hog program anymore because I died with the phone changing the FTC law a long time. But that was 2001. Anyways, but the prospecting is something you need to do if you want to do it. Some people don't want to do it. That's why Buy Refer Only is a good program, or deanjackson.com. It's got a good program for people who don't like to prospect like that. There's other ways that they like to do it, building referrals out and building out. But that's something you have to look at. Also, in prospecting, mail still number one weapons besides the phone is direct mail. Cards, not letter and envelopes, but sending out postcards, sending out mass bulk mail. You know, if you can start up with 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, it's better. Big problem, like I always said before, broker owners don't send squat out. And they just don't do it. They're not helping their agents at all. And the leads that do come in, yeah, they're internet leads. You know, it's a 50-50. Any lead's a good lead, but it's just how you look at it. Internet, yeah, you're going to build that out in a massive sections, your social media. You know, also to internet, you're building out your video profiles. A lot of agents don't do this. I know that there are two guys I know. They were in major litigation a long time ago with Windermere Real Estate, which is big in the West Coast or in Hawaii too. But these two guys I know, and they were pretty high-speed realtors in Seattle. One guy still lives there. I think the other guy still lives in Southern California. Anyways, they owned like 16 Windermere offices, but it was a little different from them because they understood marketing, and I did a bunch of deals in the past. One of them owns another real estate company, Seattle, high-speed super agent, probably two of the top agents are, and the top agents for their own company because they own it. But anyways, they have their own little video, basically predictability with inside their offices, which is cool. I know other agent owners will do it, or broker owners, excuse me, or companies. Some companies will do it. Most don't do this, but a lot of them will have their own production facility with inside it, which is pretty cool. And I think it's just a cool thing to do as far as that goes, production wise. Anyways, so these are just things when you're putting together your plan, because what happens is if you're going to do the internet with the other three to tie together. Now, I'm going to go over some here. This is I Love Marketing DNA. Basically, they download it. Go to ilovemarketing.com. It's a free download, but it's important because a lot of the stuff is for real. So the first one basically is your target market. What is your target? If you mail, is going to be a target farm, What are you doing? Are you doing sellers? Are you doing businesses? Are you doing apartment buildings, commercial buildings? Uh, you know, land, but you got properties, a few front properties. What is it? What's the target market? Why you do? How is it going to help you and help others? So that's the thing. Using direct response marketing, like I've been talking about. One of these days, I'm really going to get into detail about direct response marketing. Most people don't know about it. We're in the part of the Midwest and I'm at. You got all these people with birds up everywhere. It's a lot of it's just basically self-advocacy because of their egos are 15 miles, wide or whatever. And there's no direct. I've only seen 2 realtors that have direct response, and they're basically following a Kinder Reese program, which is basically a Craig Proctor program. But at least they have direct response saying they'll buy your house, guaranteed, blah, blah, blah. But they don't tell you is you have to follow 80 steps of this, and this, and that until they buy it. And there's all these stipulations and regulations about 50 miles long. But at least that's one response marketing thing. Billboards, you see them everywhere. You offer nothing. And a lot of times you can't even see the names of the real estate agents because they have their pictures up there. They tell what company, and then they buy and sell, and they're buying and selling what. And I've seen this in other parts of the country, so it's nothing new. But you're not offering any direct response. You offer nobody. It's just an image marketing, basically fulfill yourself, whatever you got going on. So it's kind of a joke. I kind of laugh. So direct response is important because you need them. The third one is basically efficient, and it's a systematic approach to it. So it's going to take time to go ahead and build that out. So you have to factor that in. Since it means symptomatic, basically systematized in planning it. Basically, you will. Grant Cardone talks about buying real estate. It's a game. Same thing with marketing. So you get a factory. Number 4, present your unique service proposition. USP, unique service proposition. This has been talking forever and ever and ever, but you still want to be able to bring it up. This has to be put in the ad somewhere when you did it. So basically, if you're sending out postcards, you're doing this. If you're doing the internet, you have a website for this, you can download this. Or you can get on our basically your free program. Here, give us your email, and we'll send this out to you. But you keep it all separate, and you can keep it very cost effective. Same thing you can do doing Facebook ads or Yahoo ads. FrankKern.com or Frank Kern has rojas.org. I suggest you take a look at rojas.org. A bunch of commercials online for YouTube, for Vimeo and stuff like that, and YouTube ads he was running, and you should take a look at it because the guy's one of the best on the planet. FrankKern.com or roas.org. Anyways, check them out. And like I said, I have no problem getting this stuff out because there's no secrets in anything, but it's being able to do it and to be able to put platforms together, trying to do. Next, basically, experience, and that's from your client's perspective. So you're kind of putting that in there, depending on how you do the ad. So if you're doing the postcards, ads, or newspaper, or magazines type, or you're doing an internet ad or a video ad, that's what I mean by internet ad, radio ad, you got 30 seconds to convey it. These are just things to think about when you're putting your USP proposition together, your experience. Providing after service sales, I've talked about that. Essentially, there's 4 or 5 areas. Essentially, there's the pre-ordering, or the prospecting, and then you've got the prospect in the first phase as you're trying to capture that. So the pre is the setup. The second is going into getting the capture, and then basically then you're going to have the middle where you're talking to them, trying to build relationships, helping them out, providing more information so they can give you a referral. Also, too, you have the end, and then you have the after action at the end. And so write that down. And basically, it's like a step process. But that's okay because you're building all these different things in there that could provide a lot of referrals and all of other business in different areas. I've had I had a couple clients of family in Seattle I did tons of deal with over the years. Had over probably 70, 80 referrals just off one family. So it works. And see, based on nature time, based on lifetime relationships you're going to do, and that orchestrates into referrals. So that's kind of the profit activators. Like I said, go to ilovemarketing.com. You go ahead and download the DNA for marketing. I'd say go down there and get it because it's free, and watch the videos too because they got the best people on for marketing in a lot of different areas, planning. So when you're planning out, you're looking at it, breaking it down into different areas. And so your marketing plan, your overall business plan, whatever your objectives are. But in the marketing area, you have to look at different things. It's going to be, how are you prospecting? Do you actually prospect on the phone? Some people hate it, then you're not going to do it. But what are you prospecting? How are you going to break the prospecting tree down? Well, you're sending that mail for this. Basically, you're setting up your own meet and greets where you're going to meet and greets for part of clubs, that kind of thing, or social service stuff, whatever you're involved in. Your internet, how are you setting that up? Are you platformed? Are you in Hootsuite? Are you on Sprout? Are you putting media together? Most people never heard of this stuff. Stuff I'm telling you right now, as a real estate agent or mortgage broker, you're not going to hear this stuff. Hootsuite, sophisticated, and you worked in the tech industry, you're not going to. So Hootsuite, Sprout, Hootsuite's got a better deal than Sprout, but they're both awesome. You can get all your social media and put it together. So you may have your Facebook and your Twitter and your Snapchat and your Parler, your MeChat. You're going to have a whole host of stuff. You may be on iPair, Cloud TV, whatever. And Cloud TV's got different things that you can do in there. But there's all these different angles you can be on as far as your social media as you're putting it. And so when you're these are things that you're thinking about because it all ties into your internet site. So your internet site you have to look at also too when you do your listings. Are you planning that out? They have their own internet site for the listing and then a whole social media package for that. Because each individual one, are you going to tie it into your social media package? It'd be more expensive site for company else. Do your film, blah blah blah. However that you want to do your internet, basically your listing, and then you go from there. Buyers, same thing. Buyers, when you send a postcard out, you might have a special buyers, a downloadable thing, capture emails, and basically, I would always tell you to put a video up in front of your site. And doing videos, you send those out as part of your email, basically broadcasting. So when I'm broadcasting as far as what kind of email you're using, that might be part of some kind of CRM that you may have, or you may have an individual MailChimp or something like that you're going to send it out. So you're looking at all these different avenues. The cool thing is about Hootsuite or the Sprout, and there's a bunch of other services that do it. It combines everything all together. And so you can go send it all out in one push and keep doing it and doing it and sending everything out in a push. So it gets out there in the world. And that's what you're trying to do is push when you're doing it. So you have these different avenues. So your prospecting avenues, you're breaking the prospecting down. So the internet, your website, and looking at it. Okay, I've got that. Social media, you're going to have your Facebook, Twitter, your Snapchat, MeChat, Parler, whatever else. You got a ton of other media that you're going to look at. So you're going to do that. So you might have 15 different social media, 20, 30 that you're going to have on there, and you're going ahead and you have a Hootsuite, you're spreading your message out. Then when you work with, when you're doing your, basically when you're going after, let's say you're in a video production, send out videos, house, you're doing it in front, and you're going ahead and sending the basic video out, basically on your email, and you might be sending one to buyers, one to sellers. You might have a combined where you send one to each. So you may have a basically set up where you have buyers, sellers on your database, your CRM, and then you might have a combined one and you're sending stuff for stuff out. You might have one for a commercial, you're sending that out. Videos, you're sending that every 2 weeks to a month at least. And so that's something like that. When you're doing your mail has to tie into everything else. So your mail can be looked at when you're doing your farm. You have a separate, basically, internet site just for your farm. And we keep that separate from your other one intentionally when you do certain types of mail. So let's say I'm doing a postcard or a newsletter. I'm going to have a website for that. And you can go ahead and that's how you can start to see how things are doing. And then you go ahead as you collect the emails that go into your main base, and you keep shooting out these videos that you're going to send the videos on your social media, which you can when you combine with the Hoosier Sprout or whatever servicing, and you start those out every 2 weeks too. And you just do a short video. It only has to be 30 seconds to a minute just to go out and reach out and touch them. That goes back to after action because you're in value. Then you also too, you can, this is where you go ahead on your main site or some of these other sites that you use. They could be one-page redirects depending on how you want it. And they go to your main site or your other sites and basically information up there every quarter or every month, information, some kind of data they can download. Companies that go ahead and provide your own thing. So you're looking at your prospect phone, you're looking at mail, you're looking at your disk marketing. Also too, your after action review. You're looking at, you could potentially be throwing parties for any special services. Loan officer had a company. I think it was a franchise sometime. It was a long time ago. So he used to throw these things for real estate agents. He'd help them out. Now there's a danger in it, but he'd help out and basically you'd have to give him full access to your database to prospect it, which I would never do. But he did it, and he go rent a movie theater and have everybody come. If you had over a certain amount of people, and that's a way to do it, but you do it for yourself. You don't need him or her basically but it's a way if you're working with your mortgage broker. You've done a lot of deals. If you're great real estate agent, basically you have a mortgage broker that could do the same, vice versa type of thing. So that's another way to get access to more stuff. You get access to more resources. Problem with title companies, basically Washington State, they along to 2008, 9, actually before that, around time, they really tightened on what the title reps could do because a lot of them were doing stuff with stuff, but they did it anyways. You have to check with a company what they will do and what they won't do. So, as my title rep, I didn't ask for a lot of stuff. I just didn't do it. A limited practice officer, an escrow agent, do a lot too much. Anyways, a title rep can do more. Escrow agents really can't. Escrow joint stuff with you, whatever. There's the magazine print, new. If you set it up, you got to have a direct response piece. I go through these in my area. The same everywhere. You have the real book, and you have you have the small book, you have the big book, real estate book. You have people that print up their own stuff, come up just to look at them. But the thing is, there's nobody doing any direct response marketing. Rarely in those, you'll see a loan officer do something, give a free appraisal. But if you're going to set something up, you need to have a website or your website in there or a separate one just for that if you're tracking. But even if it's your website coming in and you have an 800 line for your properties, but offer something if you're a real estate agent, and we're going to give you a free list, and you're going to offer you that if you whatever you offer. And I'm just kind of throwing generics out there, but that's okay. So that's part of your marketing end that goes in there because your marketing plan is basically just plan, especially in real estate and mortgages. You're an investor. You're going to have your own plan to do what you're going to do. Are you going to set up your own postcard marketing campaign or mail campaign with envelopes, which I wouldn't do. Postcards are always better. Set up your own website. 100 line you're going to do. You're looking for properties. What specific properties? What are you looking hit, who's your title contacts, your mortgage broker contacts, your lawyer contacts, whatever, and how you're going to set your plan up. You're a first-time buyer, you're going to set your plan up. Basically, what's your plan? Are you going to go ahead and set up, meet 3 mortgage brokers, meet one, have you been referred one, you have your paperwork together. What kind of fund are you going to do? Are you buying a house, a fourplex, that kind of stuff? What's your plan? Seller, same way. You're going to house, excuse me, you're going to list a house, plan what agents you're going to do. Are you going to take an agent's referral? You're going to talk to 3, 4, 5 agents. What's your plan? The agent, are you going to, if you're an expensive house, or you give the agent money to list the property? I used to do that if I had a high-end house, because I didn't want to bear all the costs. I could have easily done it, but a lot of times I didn't do it. I say, no, you give me, I want the money, $25. We'll have it written in the contract just to help me market the postcards out or whatever. So that I look at as doing it. I know a lot of high-end houses, they do it, but since my target market really wasn't that, I really didn't need to do that. But sometimes you need a high-end house, depending on where you're at. You can do that or you don't. I mean, it's some agents do that, but that's part of your planning. How are you going to do it? What time frame are you going to do it? Why are you going to do it? What marketing stuff's going to happen? Are you going to do it by yourself? You can have a real estate broker do it. I would tell you get a real estate broker because you want to get on the multiple. I don't care what people say, but getting the multiple is still a good thing, because what happens is all these other companies have free access to multiple. They can list your property online, use it for marketing, and it helps your agent because you get more buyers in the door. As long as you price it correctly, you're not way out of bounds. Some areas it doesn't really matter. Pricing is subjective. So remember that. But as far as marketing plan goes, if you're a real estate or you're a mortgage broker, yes, and then you got to have subgroups of that to see what you're going to do. And you have to be effective about it. If you got a full-time job, you got a couple of part-time jobs, real estate, cool. What's your plan going to be? Since you may not be a lot of phone prospect kind of campaign you're going to internet, low-cost guerrillas, you're going to look at your marketing plan. What kind of million are you going to do? A farm? How many people you have database now? Your goal is to build your database out. Your goal is to get to 1,000, try to get 1,000 emails in there. That's kind of your goal, is you want to build that out, and you keep building. Gene Jackson got a good program, your 9-word email title program that he has, the 9-word email. And you go to deanjackson.com and check it out. And it's a pretty cool program. It's an email mastery program. If you have over 500 emails or more, and you go ahead and that's something you start building that out. And that goes into your planning and another subsection, internet, and basically email marketing. What are you going to do then? How are you going to do that? Well, how are you going to build it? So you have all these different areas that you're moving into. There was one guy, I remember Stump was talking about, Joe Stump, buyer for only. He was talking to this guy that listed his property 4 years ago when he was in San Diego, somewhere else in California. And he talked about it. The guy helped build his Yelp market. So when everyone pulled up his name, Yelp came up and a bunch of stuff. So it helped him get more deals, which is cool to do because it's something you can do. And these are things you can look at. And so this all gets part of the long-term planning process. Profit active, remember this is easy, lucrative, and fun. So you have to factor in Joe Paulus termed that because him and Dean Jackson run it. So he termed that Grant Cardone's program because it's a mixed program. Grant Cardone's program, if you take a look at it, it's a lot of phone, and then there's a lot of different marketing as far as mail exposure, basically how to work the internet, digital exposure. There's exposure. You can get it any way you can get it is exposure. And so you have a lot of avenues to do it. I would say check his program out. He's got a lot of free stuff on there you can take a look at, because in marketing, no bounds. Image marketing is completely different than basically the direct response marketing. Things you can do both, like Seth Godin, he does a lot of image marketing. The Purple Cow, he has a new book came out a couple years ago. I can't remember the name of it right offhand. I've checked it out, but he got some of his videos. Seth Godin, you'll want to learn about image marketing. Then one of the top guys in the game. He's from New York. He has a MBA from Stanford, but Seth Godin's got a lot of stuff in there for image, but direct response, there's a lot of people that say they do direct response, they really end up not doing it. But as a real estate agent and mortgage broker, you need to look at direct response. If you're looking for properties, and you're sending postcards out, mail out, or just mail or whatever, I say postcards, what kind of direct response, what kind of offer are you going to give the for sale owner or someone looking at when you're looking to buy a product thing you're going to give them? What's going to take them to do it? Basically goes back to profit activator number 2 is what's your offer and your unique selling proposition that you're trying to sell, basically, which is number 4. And number 3 is basically the patience and work in the program. So when you're looking at stuff, I had to remind me back because I look at it, but I got a lot of stuff always going on all the time. So when you're doing that, Craigslist is another good one. There's other things like Craigslist out there, other basically types of marketing. Facebook Marketplace is pretty cool. You have to put this in your planning process. What are you going to do? If you get a listing, where's it going to go? Because you can go in a lot of areas, it's already built in. A lot of these agents that are with a lot of these, basically the franchise type of deal, they've got big power websites and all that, but it's still not doing a lot for the agent. Because there's a lot of things in there that they don't really help the agent on. They're more of getting the leads themselves out to the brokers. Brokers are generally the ones taking the leads. They're not helping the agents out. So remember, when you're an independent, you're pretty much doing it by yourself. Even for a franchise, you're pretty much doing it by yourself because you're not going to get many leads. You have a phone number. There's a lot of places where areas they're not going to go out and put a signpost out and do that. A lot of times you're going to put your sign out in the metal cages. That's what I call them. You kind of just poke them and put them down. So you can use that. Make sure if you're going to do that, you're getting part of your marketing plan. If you're going to change your signs, make sure you just have your name, your basically your website, your phone number, and keep it to that website if you want it. Security reasons if that, but you want the phone call and all the stuff go to you. And so that's part of your ad open house. You put the open house, how you're going to plan on doing that. Put that in your marketing plan too. For all the listings you have. Tom Ferry still has the best program for open houses out there. He still has the best one. By Referral's got one too, but I think Tom Ferry's is better. But there's a lot of ways you can structure a house to make it successful. So even on Saturdays and Sundays, you're working 6-7 days a week as a real estate agent. That's the way it goes. Mortgage broker can help you with some of the cost on that, but don't rely too much on the mortgage broker because they're not going to help you that much. Because unless they're making their high impact, anyways, if they're high impact money, they'll do it, but it's limited. And like I said before, if you're going to go in the magazine, local newspapers, you got to make sure you're offering something. When your house and you're putting that together, think of a direct response marketing piece. In other words, you're going out and you'll this when you meet them, offer them this or that warranty plans, or it could be a free appraisal. If we go ahead and list your house, you buy another property, or I'll throw in a warranty plan and list your house. There's different freebies you can come up with. You have to get creative about it. Some weird stuff. When I did it, as far as offering, because it's the direct response people react to, is what kind of freebies they can get that's going to be worth their view. So a lot of times, and the thing is, doing a warranty of AHS, or what, there's some other ones out there. First American Title's got one. They're good warranties. The thing is that the sellers end up paying for them. You don't. So that's just another throw it in. You always have the seller. I always made my sellers do it as a piece because I could use that as a sales tool. So you have all the different deals as far as your marketing plans go. It takes you a lot of different ways. So I mean, you kind of recapping, it goes taking different ways. You're going, phone prospecting. If you do it, basically mail prospecting, internet prospecting, your video prospect. Basically, from there, your social media prospecting. and basically from there, after action prospecting, your email prospecting as far as that goes, open house prospecting, how are you going to set those up? Basically, you're going to do commercial real estate. You're going to set that up, or you're going to divide it up, which you should. One for buildings, one for multi-family apartment buildings, one for land if you're doing that. You're factoring a lot of the stuff in, and so a lot of stuff that you try to create around the internet. But in addition to that, if you're doing the print prospecting, basically how are you going to, all has to tie to your internet site, because your internet sites can, my mail, my phone prospecting, how are you going to tie that in? When you leave a message on, I'm doing this and this today, you get a hold of me at phone number, or call this 800 line if you're a seller, if you're a buyer. People, what they do is, I used to do this too, you may get your phone message, and there's a service you can buy where you have tied into an 800 line, and basically some people know your personal number, but you have it ties in, and basically sellers hit 1, buyers hit 2, commercial buyers hit 1, commercial sellers hit 1, and you had basically a hotline message for each one, and then what happens, it goes directly to your phone. Okay, and so you have it divided up where people can listen. So if they're any one of these different things, send out as part of your tools as far as what you're doing, you're good to go. They still have these out. You have a real estate book, and you're looking at it, and one of these real estate magazines, they have all the listings there, and they have this number, you go in, you hit it in, and boom, it takes you and it talks about the listing. Well, as you're doing the same thing with an 800 line, but basically what it is, you're putting it on everything. And I used to do that. I used to put 800 lines on my ads. Everything I did 800 lines, internet, anything I did 800 lines, even all the social media stuff, doing that when it was first starting out. When we're doing video ads, TV ads, radio ads. So, you'll put your internet site on your 800 line. And the thing is, you can go ahead, you can essentially on that, you can totally work it as far as it goes. Let's see here. Sorry about that. I was taking a look at some business stuff. Anyways, I had to do that. Anyway, so basically what it is, we're looking at that. This is all part of your planning. This is all part of the planning process as far as putting all your planning together. And so basically when you're looking at your full plan, whatever that is, your marketing plan is pretty much the big chunk of your plan. And so you're orchestrating it basically to tailor it. Now, the thing is, a lot of the agents out there don't have the cash to really do a lot. So you need to think like a guerrilla, guerrilla marketing. There's a book out on it called Guerrilla Marketing. You need to think like a guerrilla marketer. Those agents don't have the cash to do a lot of the stuff. So you have to think it as low cost and how you're going to build it out. Me and my cousin used to send out 150,000 mailers a month. That was just mail postcards, and we had it broken down in different areas. 100,000 for buyers because we're mortgage brokers too. We sent out a couple farms for this, a couple farms for that, and something going out for foreclosures, which should be part of your game anyways. But you have mail going out to different areas. So breaking all this stuff down in your marketing plan, and so things you're going to need is internet sites, 800 line. I would just suggest you get it, or you could have different, cell phones to do different things that you keep into, but you need to be able to tie it all together to a site. What's your video production like? If your video like I'm doing, or I just go right off the web, and you're doing that, and you're recording your videos, and you're going to go ahead and release it on media stuff, which you should be doing at least twice a month. And it goes into your social media, special videos for them, and you could divide that up into 3 areas: one for your seller one for your buyers, actually 4 areas, one for your sellers, one for buyers, one for your full database, and they're all different, and another one for your closed deals, whether they're sellers and buyers that you closed. And you have a special thing that goes out to them because you offer a special gift if they get any referral, basically, whatever it is, you send a referral, you give them a $100 Starbucks card, or for Home Depot or whatever. When I used to close deals in my after action, I always used to give them a Home Depot card for, $100 or $200 or whatever it was. And I do that because they always needed it. So that's a good way. I remember I used to give trips to Vegas. There used to be a deal plane. I used to do that for a while too. And so they get 2 nights, 3 days in Vegas, plus you give them, $100 or $200 prepaid Visa card, depending on what the house was and how much they sold or whatever. So that's part of your after action plan. So, you're looking at different things as far as, market, what are you going to hit? What's your after action plan? What's your unique selling proposition? Are you going to be consistent about it? So when you're looking at all your stuff, you want to look at it. But as a real estate agent, you're always trying to save costs and money. And that's why referrals are still always the best thing. You can get them. If you get up to 50% referrals over a few years, you're doing pretty good because you don't have to pay anything for that. That's why, by referral only, that's how we built it. Buffini is pretty much the same thing. Dean Jackson talks about it a little bit. He does a different kind of deal, but his stuff's pretty high speed because he's one of the best direct response marketers on the planet. So with Joe Polish. But then also, too, you got the prospecting ones, the Mike Ferries, the Tom Ferries, that really get into Tom Ferry's brother, Patrick. He's got another brother, too. I can't remember his name. He also did some stuff on his own. He's pretty wild. He was about the monkey on your back, which is pretty cool. He's got some good stuff. Haas Pratt, good stuff. Haas Pratt's really good marketer. He's got a lot of good ideas. You check his own Haas Pratt. Like I say, go and check it out. He's got freebie stuff. Sign up for everybody's email. Put your email on the list. They send you the freebies out so you can take a look at it. It's worth it. Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Buffett stuff's really high speed too. Kinder Reese has even got good stuff, even though they ripped off everything from Craig Proctor. Well, if you look at it, it looks pretty comparable to me, but they got a good program too. They got good stuff on there. It's no matter how you use it. So a lot of it is how you use it. So if you're running TV commercials and radio commercials, what the direct responses you're going to use. You're running commercials on Hulu, Yahoo, on YouTube. There's a bunch of other ones you're running on. You're running those commercials, running them on Vimeo, YouTube ads. You're running 15-second or 30-second commercials. You're doing it on a local basis, which you can do. It's not that hard. You can totally localize it. What's your direct response piece? These is all part of your plan. These are all part of your different marketing arms. But the thing is, a lot of the stuff you can do cheap and inexpensive and build it out. Your Facebook, when you're putting your ads out as part of your Facebook and social media marketing packages, you put it out together. You're putting a video out twice a month. Are you doing a special newsletter just for the people on Facebook and your other social media packages that you put together? The cool part is you get Hootsuite or Sprout. Hootsuite's cheaper. You can go ahead and put it together and put that out every month. So you're offering something of value all the time. And that's what it gets down to. What are you offering of value? Thing is, I'm a platform person, and I've helped a lot of mortgage loan officers and real estate agents because I know how to I've helped business owners too. How do you platform? Platform. That's what you have to think yourself. How are you platforming? Because that's what I asked. The first question I'm going to ask is what are you going to be your platforms, marketing platforms? What are you going to do? And a lot of people get fuzzy, have no idea because they don't know where to go. Remember, I self-taught and I went to all these courses and everything. Tony Robbins Mastery Program, Sales Program. I went to that a long time ago too. And other Tony Robbins programs I bought and have read all his books. Great. But the thing is, you got all this stuff. How's it going to help you? How are you going to be able to get it and put it together? That's what it is. Gary Halverson, have you looked at his stuff? There's other books out there that got all kinds of knowledge in them. How do you use them? A lot of these, there's a lot of stuff you can get on Barnes & Noble, or you can go to Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com and put in our marketing and sales book. Seth Godin, I've read most of his books. I've read probably over 1,000 books easy in different areas. But like any book you read. Are you reading a book about war, reading some of Napoleon's books, or about Patton or MacArthur or Caesar or Alexander the Great? They were planners. That's how you look at it as planning for war. And the same thing doing this. When a lawyer goes to trial, it's the same thing. A good lawyer is going to plan for war. That's what they're looking at. So what I'm saying to you is when you do your marketing plan, that's what you're looking at. But you can do it real inexpensively. That's how I started. When I started out, I had two-part jobs. And I came in there at night. And so if you got a full-time job, part-time job, cool. Build it out. I'd be prospecting that way and that, but you may be doing something else. And a lot of it's just, there are a lot of variables in that bucket as far as that goes. So basically what it gets down to is I'm just trying to help you get it together so you can start figuring out programs that can work for you and being able to build out what you're doing and to do it effectively. So anyways, my email's below, nickforecast@gmail.com, website, nickforecast.com. If you have any questions or whatever, leave me an email. Contact me through Facebook, Twitter at nickforecast. Best way is to go through my Facebook or go through my email or my website. And like I said, planning, I'll get into more details as we go, especially marketing and all the different aspects of marketing. But like I said, it doesn't matter if you're an investor, or buyer, seller, you're a real estate agent, or mortgage broker. It works for everybody. And really, I'm directing this towards everyone, but especially real estate agents and mortgage brokers, because you're basically the broker owners of your office or designated brokers know anything about marketing, or if they do know stuff, they're not going to tell you about it, and they don't train people on what to do. And it's a bad thing. Yeah, they may have an internet site, or you're part of a franchising internet site. So what? How do you benefit? You don't. That's part of the try to get you in. They're not doing anything for you. I tell you, if you're on a split, the company and go to 100% shop. Even if it's a franchise, go to 100% shop. Even though you're gonna have to pay some bad dues, et cetera, stuff, and basically you'll have to pay basically the National Association of Realtors. You'll have to pay those dues and all that, but at least you're 100%. But going to independent deals better. If you're an associate broker, start your own thing. But remember, this marketing goes, your company's only going to do as well as your agents that are trained. So a lot of agents aren't trained. Companies would do a lot better if they were better trained, or if they did more stuff to get leads. And they don't do that. It's a real fallacy to say, yeah, we have this website, national website, we get leads for you and all that. No, it doesn't work like that. Basically, it goes to the broker owner or the designated broker, and maybe their assistant broker, whoever their helper is. They're going to get all the cherry leads. You're going to get nothing. You get one lead, you're lucky, unless they go to you and find you on this giant website and they find your name because you had a particular list, you have your number in there. So, don't get too caught up on it. You have to have a lot of this business and real estate mortgages. You have to have a lot of basically bull spinning, and you need to have a lot of them going at once, because the lead thing is always the biggest thing, the biggest problem, because you're basically 100% agent, because you're 100% because you only get paid on commission. So like I said, you got to stay positive. You have to have a positive outlook, positive focus on what you're doing, and planner. And basically the planners and the executioners that go with that planning and consistency win. And here's the biggest thing in real estate and mortgages: consistency. Let me say it again, consistency. Consistency is the king. Anyways, Nick's forecast, let me know, and I'll help you then your questions or problems that you may have, and I can at least get you pointed in the right direction. Have a good day. Bye.